Powered by the Montana Television Network. The 10 o'clock news continues on KPAX, Montana's news leader.
A United States senator is accusing the president of a racial slur directed at her.
Here's CBS News Chief Correspondent Nancy Cordes.
You're very, very special people.
It wasn't just what President Trump said about Elizabeth Warren, it's where he said it. At an event to honor elderly Native American code talkers who used their tribal languages during World War II to help confound U.S. enemies.
You were here long before any of us were here. Although we have a representative in Congress who they say was here a long time ago. They call her Pocahontas.
Democrats quickly called it a racial slur. Warren called it disturbing.
I guess he thinks it's going to shut me up. And all I can say is, hadn't worked in the past, not going to work in the future.
President Trump has used that name to peg his progressive foe many times before.
This Pocahontas is not so good. What an insult to Pocahontas, isn't it? Look at her cheekbones. It's a big con game we have going in Washington.
It's a reference to the Massachusetts senator's past claims of Cherokee ancestry.
But the truth is the truth. I believe my mother.
White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders insisted there's nothing offensive about nicknaming a U.S. senator Pocahontas.
I think what most people find offensive is Senator Warren lying about her heritage to advance her career.
But late Monday afternoon, the Navajo Nation put out a statement calling President Trump's comment culturally insensitive, and the National Congress of American Indians described it as a slur that overshadowed the Native American war heroes he was there to honor. Nancy Cordes, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
The Senate tax reform plan could head to a vote as soon as Thursday, and as it stands, Montana Senator Steve Daines could vote the measure down. Daines is a Republican. He posted on Twitter today about a conversation he had this weekend with President Trump. Daines says the two worked through concerns about the bill, but still, Bloomberg Politics reports a Daines staffer confirmed he will vote the measure down in its current form. Daines reportedly believes the tax cuts do not benefit, quote, Main Street businesses. He said in a statement that he does not want large corporations to gain the competitive edge over these smaller businesses. If Daines votes no, he would join two other Republican senators in dissenting. It takes just 3 Republican no votes to kill the bill. Meanwhile, Democratic Senator Jon Tester is also still a no on the bill. He says, quote, the Senate bill as currently drafted saddles our kids and grandkids with more crushing debt by adding nearly $1.5 trillion to the deficit. And it raises taxes on Montana families, forces cuts to Medicare, and benefits wealthy out-of-staters at the expense of hardworking Montanans.
Back here at home, the State Work Comp Insurance Fund has gone to court to block the state from taking $30 million to help balance the state budget. But now it appears the Work Comp Fund may withdraw that suit. The Board of Directors of the Montana State Fund has called an emergency meeting for Wednesday to consider withdrawing the suit that was filed just 2 weeks ago. The board now also includes 2 new members appointed by Governor Bullock shortly after the suit was filed. Bullock proposed the $30 million transfer and last week signed the bill that authorizes it. The money would be taken from the state fund's investment earnings on its reserves.
Coming up next in Health Watch, the new drug that's giving hope to thousands of people that suffer a stroke in their eye.
And Prince Harry engaged to be married, and it's an American who will join the royal family. Those stories next here on KPAX.